CPT JJ-CPV Evaluation and Management E&M Services Guidelines, page 7, part 7. Now we are looking at the theory about the guidelines for the codes, right, for E&M codes. And now we're going to focus on past history, right? Now, well, what is it? Can you read?
A review of the patient's past experiences with illness, injuries, and treatment that includes significant information about.
And they give you a list of what is this history, right? Prior means older, major illnesses and injuries, right? Prior operations, which means older operations, prior hospitalizations, current medications, if you're taking something currently, that's considered history too. Allergies, if you're allergic to tuna. Oh no, to drug would be to certain antibiotics, and food, to tuna, for instance, right? And then the age-appropriate immunization status, if you got all your vaccines, age-appropriate feeding, dietary status. That is what includes the past history, okay? And that has an impact in the coding for E&M coding, all right? So that's a theory for today. Now let's do a problem. So ready, set, go. Okay, this is our problem. CPT JJ-RVA, page 249, exercise 19, and this is a level 2, which is a little difficult, and the main words are skin grafts, okay? And the text reads like this.
Surgery and integumentary system.
Right.
Patient presents to the hospital for skin grafts.
Skin grafts.
Due to previous third-degree burns.
Skin grafts meaning you take the skin from another place or from another part of the body, and then you put it in the part that has been burned, right? So the burn scar.
The burn scar.
The burn scar
of the back was removed.
Remember this, of the back, because we're gonna go by anatomy in the coding. Once the scar
was removed.
Once the scar was removed,
the defect size measured 10 centimeters to 10 centimeters.
10 centimeters by 10 centimeters.
Right.
And remember that this is also 10 by 10 is 100 centimeters square, right?
Right.
So, keep going.
A skin graft from a donor bank.
A donor bank, which means they didn't take the skin from the same patient, but from a donor bank, from another patient, right?
Yes.
Was placed
on a defect and sewn into place as a temporary wound closure.
Okay, it's a little wordy, but if you go slowly, step by step, go one more time, you will understand what they're doing, okay? And so we're going to count to 3, so you can pause the video and give us the CPT code for this. So 1, 2, 3. All right, the answer is 2 codes, 15002 and 15273. Did you get that? If you got that, congratulations. If you didn't get it, let's give you some tips. Okay, first tip is a level 2 difficulty. Why?
Level 2 difficulty because there are 2 codes.
Right, there are 2 codes. So whenever there are 2 codes, we consider a level 2 difficulty because nobody tells you there are going to be 2 codes. So you have to know that because there are 2 parts of it, there are going to be 2 codes, and there's not one single code that covers everything, right? So that's what is a level 2 difficulty. Okay, the second tip.
Okay. For the first code, start with sclerotomy.
Which means that tomy means excision or cutting out of the scar, right?
Yes.
And for the second code,
start with skin substitute graft.
Why substitute? Because this is skin from a donor bank. It's not an autologous. It's not from the same patient. That's why you have to use substitute graft, okay? Now, the tip number 3.
Note that a defect size of 10 by 10 centimeters is 100 square centimeters.
Right. This is just simple math, right? If they tell you 10 by 10 centimeters, this is linear centimeters, is 10 square centimeters, this is with square centimeters, right? So you have to, that number is important because of this number, the code changes. If it were less than 100, it's something. If it's 100 or more, it's something else, right? Now, back is
the back of the trunk.
When you said the back of the body is the back of the trunk, right? The trunk has the front and the back, so we're talking about the trunk, but it's the back, right? So look for trunk, right? And 5.
Because this graft was taken from the donor bank.
Not the patient's own skin, put own here. Patient's own skin, which will be autologous, right?
Yep.
It is then a skin substitute graft, right? All right. So you have all these tips. And now we have the links here so you can watch exactly what this procedure is. What is it exactly that they're doing? And as usual, the first two are the ones that we highly recommend you to watch if you don't have that much time. And if you're interested in this particular code, you can click the other ones too. They have additional information, okay? So you have everything. You have the tips, you have the links, and you have the answers, right? It's two codes and the answers are right here. So all we want you to do now is pause the video, right? We're gonna count 1, 2, 3, pause the video, and then you have to give us the path, how we got to the answer, okay? So 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is the summary of the whole problem. CPT JJ-RVA-249-19-L2 skin grafts, and the text reads like this. It's a surgery in the integumentary system, the integumentary system meaning the skin. The patient presents to the hospital for skin grafts due to previous third-degree burns. The burn eschar of the back was removed. Once the eschar was removed, the defect size measured 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. A skin graft from a donor bank was placed onto the defect and sewn into place as a temporary wound closure. Okay? Now there's two codes. The first code is the taking out of the scar, right? So that's the escharotomy, right? So the first code, you find the first code through the index like this.
First you go to index.
Go to the index.
Then you start with E of escharotomy.
Yeah, you go to the letter E because its index is A, B, C, D. You go to the letter E and you find escharotomy, which is excision of the scar. Now you get a range of codes now. You know that it's a range because there's a hyphen there, right? So it's a range of codes, right? It means it's going to be 002, 003, 004, 005. Sometimes not all of the numbers in the range exist, but some of them will be there. It's not just two numbers, but it's a range, right? So how do you find that out? You go to the tabular, right? So the code 1 through the tabular is found like this.
First you go to tabular.
Right.
Then you start with 15002.
Which is the first number in the range, right? And then you read. What does it say there? Surgical preparation, right? Existing of open wounds, burned scar, trunk, first 100 square centimeters. That's important. The first 100 square centimeters are like this. What's the 003?
003 is each additional 100.
Right. It means if it's greater than 100, right? But in our case, it's just 100. So we're still going with the first one. What is the third one? What is this one? It's for the face and scalp. But our lesion is in the trunk, right? The back of the trunk, but the trunk. So we don't need this, and we don't need this because it is each additional for the face and scalp, right?
Right.
So we have to go back to the first one, because the first one is the first 100 cubic centimeters. So this double, what do you call this?
Double hyphen? Or double slash?
Slash. Double slash is called, it means go back to 15002 and so forth, and the equal sign means that that's our code. So the first code is 15002. Okay, now that was the excision of the scar, but we went to a bank, a donor's bank, and we took skin, and we're gonna put that in the place where the excision was. So that's another procedure. So that's a skin substitute graft, right? So there's another code for that, and the code number 2 for that through the index is found like this.
First you go to index.
Go to the index.
You start with S for skin substitute graft.
Start with skin substitute graft. Now there's another way that you can go to skin graft and then go from then substitute, but then they're going to give you a bigger range, right? So since you know that it's from a bank that is a substitute, then just go straight to skin substitute graft. It's shorter, right? That way, right? Because it just shows the anatomical parts, and our anatomical part in our case is the
trunk.
The trunk, right? All right. So the codes for the trunk are all this range, right? Now we don't know which one, so we have to go to the tabular, right? So the code 2 through the tabular is found like this.
Okay. First you go to tabular.
Go to the tabular.
Then you go to 152271.
Go to the first number in the range that you got from the index. And what does it say?
Application of skin substitute graft to trunk.
And this is the first
25 square centimeters.
Which we don't need that. We need greater than that, right? So, and this is each additional, right? Now, what is the third one?
The third one is greater than or equal to 10.
This is what we need, because what we have is equal to, and greater than is also here, right? So this is what we need. But what is this? Each additional 100. Put 100 there. Each additional 100, right? And so we have to go back. This is go back again to the 73, which is this one, which is our code, right? Because it's 100 square centimeters what we have there. So this is our code. So that's why we have an equal sign here. And the second code then is 15273. The first one for sclerotomy is 15002, and the second code for the skin substitute graft is 15273. Okay, so thanks for watching, and don't forget to visit our website and subscribe to our videos by just clicking on the subscribe button, and you will get
up to 3 videos every day that we make. ICD-10, CPTs. All that's needed to pass the medical coding certification exam.
So don't forget to visit our website and subscribe to our videos. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.